Hi guys! Oh my god! The book I want to talk about today, oh my god! It's so exciting, I'm telling you. When I say lit, it is such a lit book, right? The book is of this our country. Hey! You guys, this book, how do I explain this book? This book is, hey, it's sitting my body even thinking about it. Hey, this book is all that and all the bags of chips you can imagine. It is wonderful. It's a wonderful book. And okay, so first of all, if it's your first time, I got carried away for a minute there. I apologize. This is Nez. Welcome to Nez Telly. If this isn't your first time, welcome back. And I apologize for not being around for some months. But guys, guys. See, I was just going through something, right? I just went through these months where, honestly, what happened to me about a year ago. But I just went into this deep place where, after a while, I just couldn't read anymore. And even when I read, I didn't feel like making videos. It was just like, guys. Anyway, I am thankful, where I'm at a point where I can read now, and I can talk about it. And honestly, okay, see, the bottom line is I'll just tell you whenever you can, check on your friends, because everyone looks like everything is fine, but everything is not fine. Crazy things are happening. So I'll just say that, for free. Welcome to my TED Talk. Okay, so welcome to Let's Tell You. What we do here is all about books. We just sit down, talk about books, analyze, come up with ideas from them, and then hopefully I would also convince you to read a book that you may have not thought of. And today we are talking about Of This Our Country. Guys, this book, I am so hyped, I'm so hyped. I saw this book earlier this year on Roving Heights. So if you want to buy it, you can buy it from Roving Heights, right? And even though, like, everybody, I'm going to put a list of the authors here. Everybody is a collection of stories. Everybody that has ever written a book in Nigeria, I felt like their name was, they were there. Like every young author, like millennials and Gen Z authors, most of them are there. Because I was like, who is not in this book? You get. But however, there's one person that caught my attention. I'll talk about her later. Anyway, so this book is actually a collection of stories by most of the authors that you know. I'm talking of Chimamanda, Sefi or Shefi Atta, Ozioma Chigozie, Chikodle Melumadu, honestly, everybody. I can't come up with everyone. Like I said, I'll write a list here so that you can see. And what I loved about the book was how they used metaphor. Do you understand? The use of metaphor to explain the way Nigeria is to them. Most of them are Nigerians that don't live in Nigeria anymore or have been outside Nigeria for a bit. So it's like I'm talking about people using Suya to explain the way they understand Nigeria. One person talked about her youth service years and how it attaches, I apologize, how it attaches to the national anthem, to serve Nigeria with all our might. That's Nigerian pledge, So it's like serving Nigeria. The Nigerian youth service is a mandatory service program that every graduate in Nigeria has to go to. You get the federal or the nation, the country sends you somewhere and you have to go there and serve for about a year and all that. So she used that experience. One person talked about Suya, another person talked about parties, using parties to just explain. So like all these small things that we know normally as we Nigerians, but they use it to explain their own experience or their own understanding of being Nigerian. I remember this one I really liked. A man talked about a funeral, coming back home to bury his mom, and how horrified or how scared and skeptical he was about the traditions and all that was needed. And then he went there and I realized, it's not that bad. It's actually really nice. Like he had mad fun, and he felt, for the first time in his life, he felt like he was at home. Those that described the police situation here in Nigeria that still seems to exist, even despite the whole NSAS thing. Of course, is it possible to write about Nigeria right now without talking about NSAS? Most of them mentioned NSAS at one point. But she talked about how, the history of the police, the elite using their power to do exactly what the colonials did when they were here. I never quite thought of it that way. So it's like, if the elite is enjoying the benefits that the colonials enjoyed while they were here, why would they want things to change? Think about it, So that was really nice. However, Chikodle Melumadu, she was the reason why I saw this book. I was like, I am going to read this book. Chikodle, I've been a super fan of hers, right? I don't know a lot of her books, which really sucks, but she's someone that I've read. She's someone I used to read. She used to write blogs way back, like I'm talking of like 2011, 2012. And I used to read that thing. And considering I don't have a history of reading, but I used to enjoy reading her books. So it's like, once I saw her name, I said, I'm going to read this book. I must read this one. Do you understand? And she really hit home with it because we both grew up in the eastern part of Nigeria. So it affected the way it related for me. So I feel like if you actually read the book, you will find a portion of, even if you don't like all the stories, you will find one particular story that will relate to you. If it's the story of, like I said, the Suya, or even the story of primary schools, do you understand? The educational, that educational one, I'm going to get to it in a bit. Let me talk about this one. Chikoli talked about markets. She hates going to market. She grew up in Oka. So she talked about markets, she hates going to market. But the thing is that she didn't just talk about market, she talked about market and how that she talked about going to market, like the singular act of going to market, but how widening it, right? And then explaining how that affects so many things in the society. The way the people that buy from who, where the market comes from. So it's like people that create associations, the play of religion, the economics of it, even down to things like marriage, like the undrawn battle line, or rather the transparent battle line between the illiterate Igbo trader and the literate Igbo professional. Do you understand? So it's like the reason why, a lot of people, if you go on social media, that people are always talking about how Igbo girls that we can give people breakfast for free. The supposed breakfast. And I do remember talking to my man about it a while back when I was talking about how the Igbo girl dating a young boy is not planning to marry that boy. And that doesn't mean she doesn't love the boy, but I mean the economics of it, why should she stay with you when there's a man that has a lot of money that is willing to take care of her and her family? She would rather do that. It sounds mean, but honestly, to me, it's a respectable reality, because in the end, it's not love or chop. If you marry for a while, the idea of love that you marry the person for will fade. But you see, the money would likely stay. So you get. So it's an interesting way of looking at it, but it was a very interesting, the way she explained that in the book now, check out the way she explained the markets and the way it affects everything that we do, and the way it affects the way we look at money, transactions, jobs, marriage. Honestly, the woman, she hits me well. I loved it. Like, that was like when I read it, I just felt like, oh, any of us that grew up in the eastern part of Nigeria, you went to market now, all those major markets. You went to Ariaria, you went to Aba, you went to Ogbete, you went to New Market, you went to Onitsha main market. As in, you went to any of those markets, you will know all of them have the singular thread, and that just made it very amazing. I loved that particular story. Okay, so there was that guy again that talked about the educational system. How come Nigerians are doing so well outside the country more than we do within the country? And he talked about how we have a very stubborn educational system. We have an educational system that submits you to understand the importance of hard work. Do you understand? Which I think I like. I like knowing that, because I feel like what's happening now in our educational system in Nigeria, especially those of us that are going to private schools, that we're trying to switch it. We're trying to make it more Western. Do you understand? Making our kids less resilient to what we are resilient to. So it's like going to school, the idea of coming first, putting people in positions and all that. Because what happens is that the Nigerian kid may not do very well when he is grown in Nigeria, but when he goes out, he tends to do well. Like, if you think about it, in every major sphere, in places like the US, the UK, and Canada, you will see one Nigerian person that is running things more than every other person. Do you understand? So, like, waiting that person chop, how come that person is doing that? You get, I really liked the way he explained that. Honestly, this book, it was good. I bought it from, sorry, I didn't buy it from Roving Heights, but it's available on Roving Heights because I saw it first. However, I happened to finally subscribe to my script, and I saw the audio there. That's how I went and listened to the audio. But I'll still buy the physical book, because this book is one of those books that I want to have around for like a bit and all that. So that's pretty much it with this book. Thank you so much for coming by. Short video. And what have you been reading? Please leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. If you like this book, if you've read or heard about it and all that, let me know what you think. And then what have you been reading recently? And till next time, bye-bye.